I made a console that runs on Raspberry Pi. This all started when I watched a YouTube video by a guy named Leandro Linares. Coincidentally, a few days after I watched the video, I got grounded, which meant no more video games for me. But without the video games, I equal sad. Since I don't have access to my own bought video game console, I decided to make my own video game console, like the video, so that I could continue to play video games. A few years ago, I built a wooden laptop. This wooden computer contains a few of the key parts I need to build the console: the screen, a speaker, and a Raspberry Pi. The idea is to extract the Raspberry Pi screen and speaker from the wooden computer and install the emulator onto the Raspberry Pi and create a case for the whole thing. In the process of taking out the electronics, the speaker broke, so I had to throw it away though. This isn't a major problem, as the Raspberry Pi has Bluetooth capabilities and an audio port. So now, I had to make sure that the Raspberry Pi and screen still worked. Luckily, it still worked. Next is to uninstall an operating system that was currently on it and replace it with the emulator that would run the games I need. After figuring out how to install the operating system, I had to install the games or ROMs and get controllers. And then, finally, make the case so I don't have to look at ugly PCBs.
With the electronics done, it was now time to make a case for it. No games console is just a screen and a computer. They all have a case, and we aren't about to make any exceptions. After a short brainstorm, we decided that we wanted our retro console to look like a retro TV. After looking online for a while, I found some models specifically meant to be a case for our exact Raspberry Pi, the Raspberry Pi 3B+. However, there was a problem. The case was small, like way too small. In the end, I only ended up using the front cosmetic panel that printed in 2 parts and the knobs. I also had to scale these models up rectangularly and then heavily modify them to fit our bigger screen. I modified them by combining a custom screen bracket I modeled in Fusion 360 with the front panel geometry. I also modeled a new back box that could be easily glued in 2 parts and would hold everything together. I had to cut some of the parts because they would not fit on my print platform. Then I got printing. I printed all the parts in blue or gray, with the exception of the knobs, which are printed in a color-changing silver gold filament. Also, for one of the cosmetic panels, I changed the colors partway through the print to give it more depth and color. With all the panels printed, I had to remove all the supports, check the fit, and then I mailed them all the way to Chicago so Keon could assemble them.
Parts arrived, and after unboxing, I started gluing everything together. Thanks to Leopoldo's design, it was rather simple and took only a few minutes before it was all set and ready to play on. Now it's time for the first startup. As you can see, it worked. I'm quite happy with how this turned out. And now, it's time for the B-roll.